Hello, everyone, and welcome to Catching Up with DJ Johnson. Okay, DJ, so Japan has been anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks ahead of the United States in terms of this virus coming to the country and having an impact. When you're following the news as best as you can with a different language over there, when did you start to realize that this was becoming a very serious thing that might impact baseball?
Really, it was not so much impacting baseball, but just impacting my family and life in the United States. I was really just a couple of days ago when the numbers in the U.S. really skyrocketed. To be honest, when this whole thing first came around, especially being over here, it's completely calm here. Like I don't know what the difference is here and in the States, but people aren't freaking out here like they are back home. But seeing the numbers spike the last couple of days and all the quarantines and travel bans and everything that's going on over there, I mean, that really hit home for me. And, talking to my wife and my daughters and just hearing about how they're dealing with everything. I mean, it's really just been the last couple of days that everything's really kind of hit me.
When Japan, you were in the middle of spring training, right? And then
Yeah.
Japan suspended operations. Explain what they explained to you and kind of what you did from there.
So for us, it was basically just we were going to keep doing what we're doing. Like we were going to keep playing the games as scheduled, just with no fans. So it wasn't really anything different than the preseason that we were in. But they told us that it was just precautionary, one, to keep us safe, and two, to keep the fans safe. The more they can keep people apart from each other, the better. So, I mean, as long as we were fine, and we go through precautions every single day. The first thing we do when we show up to the yard is take our temperature, and they ask us if we're feeling, feverish, have a cough, or, any kind of symptoms. There's hand sanitizer everywhere. So anytime you can, get a chance to sanitize your hands. We're doing it all day long. My hands are extremely dry and cracked and bleeding from washing my hands and sanitizing so much. But I mean, it's all precautionary, but like I said, nobody's really freaking out. And then the other day we had our first players get infected, and games have started getting canceled. We canceled games in the majors here for 2 weeks, 2.5, almost 3 weeks actually. Still playing games in the minors. Some of our guys are going down and playing games there, getting some innings in, but we're still practicing, we're still staying in shape and waiting for the season to get back to normal.
What's it like playing a baseball game, even if it's an exhibition game, and there's nobody in the crowd?
So there's a lot of domes in Japan, which is very different for me. So the first game we were playing in Nagoya against the Chunichi Dragons, and you could hear the umpires play ball call rattle around the stadium for like 15 seconds. And the first strike call that he made, I'm pretty sure everyone in the dugout started dying laughing because it's not something that you normally hear. I mean, you pay attention to it, you see him do the signal, but you don't hear it echo throughout an entire dome for, an extended period of time. So that was very weird. I mean, for me, I don't really notice this people. Even when I made my major league debut, I always thought I would stand on the mound and look up and take in the scenery, and I didn't. I just looked down and realized that the mound is so much better in the major leagues than it is in the minor leagues, and that's true. But I mean, I didn't really notice the lack of fans. When I pitch, I noticed the batter in the box wearing a different uniform than I am, and that's really what I focus on. So I think watching a game with no fans is weirder or more different to me than actually playing in one.
Are they still playing? Like, I've never been to a game in Japan. I want to at some point in my life, although I don't know how I'm ever going to pull this off while working in baseball. But how much do they normally play music between innings? Is there usually walk-up songs for batters or when pitchers come in? And is any of that still going on inside an empty stadium?
Yeah, so when we play games at home, we still have walk-up songs. Mine is still the same as it has been the last 3 years. So Wherever I May Roam by Metallica, give it a listen. It's great. Yeah, music still plays. I'm not entirely sure how they do things because we haven't played a game with fans yet in a stadium. But I know in spring training at the complexes, they would play music in between games. The announcers are there. They still do all the announcing, all the video on the scoreboards, everything. Like, they're making the game as much like a real game as it can be with, fan support.
You mentioned a little bit ago about how the last couple of days had really started to hit home. Being away from your wife, from your daughters, from your family, so far away from them while all this is going on and while so many people are quarantined. What's that like? What kind of toll is that taking on your family and on yourself?
It's a struggle. My wife is actually supposed to come out in 2 weeks, and she's not going to be able to do it now. It's very tough knowing that, some of the other guys here have their wives or, their wives and their children here and are able to be a family and go through this together. And, my wife and I are having our relationship and our family time, through a phone. So that is very tough. I'm calling her when I'm waking up and she's going to sleep, and vice versa, two completely different parts of the day. It's extremely tough, and I can't wait until this is over and I get to see them and bring them over here.
Let's talk a little bit about your time in Albuquerque. The entire 2018 season until you were called up in September, and then off and on in 2019. What are some of your biggest memories from playing, especially at the lab?
So many good memories about the lab. First and foremost, the guys that I played with, the Rockies MO is, family and character, and they do a really good job of bringing great people into the organization, not only just the players, but, the media. John Traub, class act, he made everything great for me while I was there, and everybody else, as far as I know. The Isotopes always treated me great. So I was very, very lucky to get to play there. But, some things that I remember for sure are whenever somebody would get promoted to Albuquerque, especially a pitcher, watching them watch batting practice for the first time. It never failed to make me laugh. Just the comments that would come out of their mouths. You'd see guys, freaking Tom Murphy, Pat Valleca, launching balls, off and over the scoreboard, just making the fence look like it was completely irrelevant. And just some of the things that would come out of these guys' mouths, like, are you kidding me? Like what's going on? And they didn't believe the stories until they actually got there to see it. So I think that was one of the things that I'll always remember.
But especially the big nights, whether it's 4th of July or those mariachi games, or is just the atmosphere in those games, what stands out to you?
Just the support. I'll never forget the first Mariachi Night that we had. I don't know, it was like some 20,000 people, 18,000 people that were there. Packed seat. There was not a seat to be had on the berm. We always had people behind our bullpen, coming over and talking to us during the games. The fan support was unbelievable. It was great. I'd walk around town and see people wearing Albuquerque Isotopes gear and mariachi gear and everything. It was an awesome place to play. The fan support was unbelievable.
Yeah. Let me end with this. What is something that we probably take for granted living in the United States that we don't know that you can share with us now that you're living on the other side?
I'm going to say serving size. Serving size. Everything here is smaller. It's crazy that I'm living in like a Western style apartment, which is a normal size. Other places that we go, everything is small. Apart, like the hotels that we go to, it's a completely really small condensed room. I think the one thing that I'd take for granted the most is, like we were talking about earlier, family time. I miss being with my family and, being with the guys at the field. I think those are the things that I miss the most.
Do you at least have a bed that is big enough for your entire body so that your feet don't have to hang off
the
end? Okay.
Well, my feet hang off the bed at home, so.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a normal sized bed. in spring training, I had a smaller bed, and that was a little tough. But I mean, I can sleep sitting in a chair. Like I have no issue falling asleep.
I don't know a lot of players who went over to Japan, but the one I probably know best is a guy by the name of Ken Macha. I don't know if you know him or if our audience does. They probably most know him for being the manager of the A's in the mid-2000s. And Ken went over to Japan and was a huge star. I remember there was always a photo in his office where they were throwing him up in the air, which is a very it's a tribute that the Japanese do when someone has a big game. And he won all kinds of awards that was over there. And I remember asking him about it once, and he said that when he went over to Japan, he said that he wanted to do everything their way. He said, I'm not going to be the American who's just going to think my way's the best way. He said, whatever they do, I'm just going to completely embrace it. Even if I don't get it, even if I don't understand it, I'm just going to do everything their way. And he had this phenomenal career in Japan, and he's still beloved over there. Ken Macha, again, is his name. So a lot of the things that you've said, it sounds like you're taking that same approach. And so, we miss you, but we're proud of you, and we just want you to have the best experience possible over there.
Thank you. Absolutely. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I played winter ball in Mexico. That's what I wanted to do. But the game here, there's such a learning curve for people coming over here. They play the game so differently from, back in the States, everyone's a home run hitter and there's like two speedy guys. Well, here there's everybody in the lineup can steal bags. Everybody's fast. Just the work ethic that these guys have every single day and the energy that they bring to the field it's unbelievable. I'm having a blast over here. I'm learning a lot, and I go to the field looking forward to something new that's going to happen every day that I've never seen before. And I love that feeling. It's not business as usual here. It's, just like in the States and the big leaguers, they're going to the field, they're going to work, but the amount of energy that these guys bring it's unbelievable. I'm really happy that, I made this decision. I'm happy that I'm here. Unfortunately, it's during, this time of crisis and sickness and everything, but, I'm praying for everybody at home, all my friends, former teammates, family members. Big thank you to all the medical staff that's doing everything that they can to help everybody that's infected. Prayers going out to our leaders that are doing everything that they can to help keep us safe, both in America and here in Japan. Just wishing them the best of luck. And, hopefully we can get back to doing what we love here sometime soon.
Perfectly said. Thanks so much, DJ. Love seeing you and your beard and hearing from you. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks a lot, Josh. It's great to see you too. When baseball does resume, good luck this season. I hope you guys have as much fun as you can. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Go Topes.